When people walk into one of our laundromats, this fun shock factor to see on their face, like,
Yeah.
oh, the wash cycle and the dry cycles are so fast. I was on this trajectory to be an underperformer, to not believe in myself, to believe the lies of the world about who I was and did I matter. And then God inserted this man into my life who spoke truth to me every single day. He said, you're loved. You do matter. You have what it takes. You're not.
You're listening to Building Dallas, hosted by Arrington Roofing. With 42 years of roofing North Texas, Arrington Roofing is building a better roof for you.
Today's guest is a leader, entrepreneur, and father of 5 who loves building things that grow. Patrick Elverum helped scale a SaaS company from under $500,000 to more than $5 million in monthly recurring revenue. He calls himself a thinker, a doer, and a dad. And he's honest about the challenge of being world-class at all 3. Please welcome Patrick Elverum.
From tough builds to big ideas, we're shaping the future of North Texas. Welcome to Building Dallas.
Patrick's running cleaners. What would be the generic term? Just it's the cleaners? It's not dry cleaning.
We own cleaners as well. We own all the Tide franchises, own and operate all the Tide franchises in Dallas, both cleaners. We call them cleaners now, not dry cleaning. It's fallen out of favor. Okay. And we're building laundromats all over Dallas. And if you would have rewound 10, 12 years and asked 35-year-old Patrick, who was running a software company and coming off his time in the Navy, hey, you think you'll ever run laundromats? He would have thought you were crazy. And here we find ourselves.
Looking at your mission statement, it says, we take laundry, give life. How'd you get there?
Real simple. Our mission is to take as much dirty laundry as we can in the city of Dallas. And that could be a family who's coming in on a Sunday to get ready for the week of school and work. It could be a professional who's dropping it off at the counter for us to do. It might be a restaurant or a spa or gym next door, commercial, as much dirty laundry as possible. That's our mission. Our purpose is laundry has to get done. Dirty clothes have to get clean. Dirty linens have to get clean. It's rewarding to have work that matters, that people need. It's real simple work. It's kind of dirty work, but it's rewarding to be that close to work that matters. We're proud of that work. We think what makes us special and maybe different is the purpose behind that work, because the mission is to take that laundry, and the purpose is to turn around and give life in return. Give life means a lot of things for us, but it starts with giving life to our customers by making laundry less dirty, by making it more enjoyable, by giving them a space that's safe and clean where they're going to come in and be loved by our staff. That mission and purpose, we think it's biblical. You take someone dirty laundry and what do? You turn around and give them life. Who did that best? Well, Jesus Christ. So for us, it applies not just to our customers, but it applies to our coworkers. So we want to hire people who come in and believe in the mission, buy into the purpose, and give life to each other. It's all about building relationships. If we can build relationships with each other, our coworkers, and begin to build relationships with our customers, what happens? Growth in the business, growth in the people, growth in the community.
I'm already intrigued because we put up, the way we met Patrick is we put the roof on a building that he's just started a new franchise here in Oak Cliff, just down the street from us. And the owner of the building has been one of our clients. So I went over, I was introducing a new employee to the job, and we went over there to look at it, and we went inside, and it's like, there's this spotless, lot of white, clean laundromat. What I'm thinking, but now you're saying, I had no idea y'all took in laundry from people and actually had a staff there working on it.
Oh, yeah.
So this is way more full serve, because at my age, I'm thinking you walk in a laundromat, that's what it is. People are in there doing their laundry, you come in, do it, and you leave. So you've got actual, you don't call it dry cleaning, but you've got cleaning service. I didn't know that. I had no idea.
We do, and it is dry cleaning. We don't call it that much anymore, but you bring in your press shirts or your nice suit, and we do dry cleaning as well. And kind of our thought is the laundromat's probably not unlike roofing. It's a real fragmented business. For a long time, it's been a business that's underinvested in. People view it as a side hustle, so it's passive income. So they're going to open a building, do the minimum to keep it running, and just collect checks.
They're going to throw some machines in there, right, and hopefully it makes more money than they have to spend on repairing machines.
That's right. If you're lucky, they'll repair machines, get in there and clean it. It's probably not attended. So we want to be fundamentally different. When We get it all the time. When people walk into one of our laundromats, it's this fun shock factor to see on their face. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
I couldn't like. I hope these guys make it because this was really cool. I mean, this is a cool place. There may be people just in there hanging out. I don't know, but
yeah.
they were. It was a fun place to be.
I tell people all the time, when you walk into one of my laundromats on the weekend, first of all, again, you're going to be greeted by somebody who cares about you and wants to get to know you. But if you just spend some time on a Sunday in a laundromat, it's jamming. I mean, it is high energy. There's a lot of people in there. And it's what I think kind of America should be. It's this wonderful melting pot, people from different backgrounds, from different neighborhoods, different experiences. If you go to a really good service activity at your church and you start to really engage those people and create connections, that relationships that cross over boundaries, whether that's race or socioeconomic or age or whatever those boundaries might be, like that happens every day in my laundromats. And on Sunday, it happens all the time because people are going to be there for a while. You've got a chance to get to know someone. And when they bring their dirty laundry in, Chris, it's not just the dirty jeans and the dirty jacket. A lot of times they're bringing in hardship. My kid's sick. My husband lost his job.
There's a staff there,
Right.
which typically staff is the guy sitting in the corner reading a magazine because somebody's going to lose a nickel somewhere. And
Such a blessing because that having a mission that matters and a purpose that people believe in, we get access to people that we shouldn't. They're wonderful people, and they're there to give life. Because what happens when you give life? You get life, right? These relationships. So we train them how to fold clothes, clean machines, and clean dryer vents. But the primary request, are you doing a good job? Are you performing in the position? Are you giving life? And what does that mean? Are you loving on customers? Do you know their names? Do you know their kids? And
they're going to have regulars.
these are real relationships, Chris. When you walk into our first laundromat, which celebrated its 1-year anniversary a couple months back, everybody knows Mary.
Okay.
Everybody knows Michelle. And there's a lot of folks who won't come unless Mary's going to be there because they want to spend an hour with Mary and catch up. And it's awesome.
Since I didn't realize it was that new either. So just a year from your first one. And now, are there more of this Tide concept other places?
Great questions. It is a very new concept. So the test stores were in Chicago, and then we were the first growth market to come alongside Chicago. They've since doubled down, and they're building a bunch of stores up in Chicago. But this concept only exists in Chicago and Dallas.
How would somebody in Dallas get this right off the bat? How would they find your store? Or would they look for Tide One or what?
Great question. If you Google Tide Laundromat, that's the easiest way. But we're also proud to say if you just Google best laundromat in Dallas, you're going to see what's this laundromat with 800 5-star reviews. Must be fake. No, it's not. It's Tide Laundromat. Come on down.
So brand new, everybody. So this is something that we're really on the cutting edge of the country on getting this concept, which it really is. I'll just say to our listeners, just go and see one. It's just fun to go in. I don't care if you have any laundry to do. Just go in and take a look at it. It really is.
Well, the interesting, Chris, you think of a laundromat and you think, okay, that's what segment of the population uses. They live in an apartment. They're struggling to make ends meet. Those are laundromat customers. I would tell you that's changed. We have a lot of professionals who will just bring their laundry to us, not just the dry cleaning, but the laundry, drop it off in a big bag and come back later that day and pick it up perfectly folded in a shrink rock wrapped brick so they can just drop it in there. We've got upper income moms who come in to do the big bedding because their washer at home won't handle it. So we see them once a month and they bring in all the big linens and they're in and out of there in an hour and they love it because it's clean, it's safe, the Wi-Fi is rocking. It's awesome.
Doing all your towels and stuff, they never get dry.
That's exactly right. The number of people have said, well, my washer's broke, because I feel like they need an excuse for being in a laundromat, which is funny to me. You don't need an excuse. This is a good place to be. But then they turn into customers because they're like, it's just easier here. I've got 3 kids. It takes me 4 hours on the weekend. I'm in and out of here in an hour. I'm not fixing the washer.
I got one of my questions was, and you've kind of already answered it, but I'll go a little deeper on it, is fast. I mean, when you go into the store, it's really clean. And I think one of the feelings I got was, well, this is going to be quicker. I don't know why I thought that because I didn't really play with the machines or do anything. Yeah. I didn't do any laundry, but tell us about speed.
It's a huge deal.
That's
part of a huge deal. These things are not cheap to build. The biggest part of that cost is these machines that we're installing and bringing to market. They're the latest and greatest. We call them smart machines. You can't find another laundromat in Dallas where you don't have to bring detergent. You have to bring your detergent because you got to pour it in a little cup up top and it's disgusting. And you're like, gosh, is this even clean? not ours. You take your dirty laundry, you stuff it in the machine, you close the machine, select the cycle, the detergent you want, the softener you want, include it in every load. Do I want OxyClean? Sure, I'll take some of that. And it is automatically dosed into the machine. So the machine weighs the clothes and it says, okay, you've got 45 pounds of laundry here. So we're going to put in the perfect amount of water, the perfect amount of soap, and it's going to wash those clothes perfectly. It's not just a better experience, it's a better wash.
You know what? It makes me think, because I haven't been to a laundry mat in a long time. Somebody else is using a detergent that you go, I'm allergic to that.
Right.
And I just put my laundry in what they just got through cleaning.
Totally.
Am I going to be scratching the next day or two? So you've got probably the best, Tide. So your products are top shelf.
It's the most trusted consumer brand in the world. And the reason is they've got the best cleaning chemistry in the world. So that's put into the machine, and those machines, once it's done cleaning,
Go ahead.
well, it spins them at 400 Gs, believe it or not. It makes Top Gun look silly. 400 Gs. And what that does is the water extraction that happens in the machine gets those clothes almost dry. So after a 25-minute or 30-minute cycle, you pull out the clothes, they're just about dry. So you might need 10, 15 minutes in the dryer. So people say
So
that
they're faster. It's just a faster clean and dry.
it literally cuts in half at least the time you're going to spend in a laundromat, just because the wash cycle and the dry cycles are so fast.
Yeah.
People love it.
You know, let's do a little nerdy. So if you're getting the clothes drier from the wash, does that mean there's less residue on your clothes when you go to dry?
Nerd out on this a little bit. Learned a lot about cleaning laundry in the last couple of
This is a technology, obviously, with the smart machine.
the comparison. So if you go into an aged laundromat that maybe hasn't been kept up and those machines are older, who knows how the water heater's performing, you're going to throw your clothes in there. That machine has no idea how many clothes is there. So it's going to fill it to the top. Maybe that water's hot, probably not. And what the clothes aren't able to do in that scenario is come into and out of the water, right? So that's really what cleans those clothes, is coming in and out of the water and actually rubbing up against each other, agitating. That knocks the dirt out of the clothes and into the water. The other thing that's going to happen in that older laundromat is that they're going to say, well, I want these clothes really clean, so they're going to put a ton of soap in there. Over soap that thing like crazy, and they're going to see all those suds in there, and they're going to be like, that's clean. Here's the thing, though. Suds don't equal clean. When it's over suds like that, when it's over soaped, what the chemistry does is it holds the dirt in the water. It's way less effective, dirt and grime in the water, so it goes back into the clothes. You finish this big wash cycle, and you never actually extract the dirt and grime. They just go back into the clothes. That never happens in our washers. They're calibrated to eliminate that possibility. So unless you stuff them in so full that the clothes can't move at all, then your clothes are going to come in and out of the water.
I should have thought, obviously, in the technology age that we're in, somebody's going to get down to the basic things and go, okay, how are we doing laundry? How can we do laundry better? That's really what this franchise has done, and what you guys, when the stores you're putting in, it's better. It's just a better clean. And you're saying you can come in and do it yourself.
Yeah.
You can come in and have our staff do it.
Yep.
You can do the dry cleaning on the special things that you're not going to put in a washer or dryer. Is there a point where you guys go, that's not us?
That's a great question. So we've got so blessed with so many talented, great people, and some of those talents are taking great care of customers and giving life. Margarita's talent is soft goods. So if you brought in your Gucci purse that you don't trust anybody to put water or cleaning chemicals on, but you accidentally dropped it in the mud and your clumsy husband stepped on it, and you're like, what am I going to do? This is a $4,000 purse. Where do I take that? Well, yeah, we can handle that. So there are some specialty items. If you brought us a Persian rug, we've got a partner who just does rugs.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. If it's dirty and it's a textile, bring it to us.
Could I bring in my lazy boy chair?
We actually do have a restoration team, and they'd take a hard look at it. They'd probably take care of it for you. Yeah.
So do you have partners within the marketplace that you refer?
We do. That's a very niche part of our business.
Yeah.
And so we have a whole team that the unfortunate victim of a flood at your house or a fire.
Yeah.
And so clothes are damaged.
That's huge.
Your favorite lazy boy smells like smoke. Partner with that is a tiny piece of our business.
Okay. That could be a lot more, because In the roofing business, when we're getting, like, sometimes we'll do a roof and it's because of a fire, or because
Right.
of a storm or a
Right.
flood or whatever. And we do have partners that we partner with on getting all that stuff clean. And,
Yep.
and really, so in my mind, when we're talking about this cleaning stuff, I'm thinking in my world, it's a major,
Yeah.
it's taking everything out of your closets, everything hanging
Mhm.
on the walls, it's your furniture, it's your carpet. It's a huge deal. And if anybody's been through that, they know what I'm talking about. So it's nice to know
Yeah.
that you guys do have an avenue for that, even if it's just get someone in the right direction.
We do, and we work
Because you're
with.
giving life.
It's funny that the laundry business and the roofing business actually have a lot of crossover. That restoration piece, it's all about working with the homeowner and the insurance company to make sure that they get their home restored correct. A roof and clean laundry, those are things that everybody needs, but it's viewed as a commodity to differentiate yourself, like a three-legged stool. Okay, my product has to be best in class. You got to
Yeah.
build great roofs. The experience of getting a new roof has to be great. You've got to make sure that you've got your catch-alls there and you're taking nails out of the yard so that I don't have my 7-year-old running through the yard and catch a nail. And then the third leg is what we talked about previously, the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the guy that I'm going to trust to get on my roof, to come in my home and take care of my home? Most valuable possession. And for us, laundry. Who is the person that I'm going to hand my laundry to? Because that's very personal to
Oh
me.
gosh, that's Patrick. That makes me think of things that I have that are keepsakes from my family.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of it, it's a clothes or a blanket that my grandmother made.
Right.
And to lose that, if it's not a fire, and you just go,
Mm-hmm.
guys, we got to give it up because it's burned. But if I can get the water damage out of it, which that's kind of that gets back to the nerdy thing, how water is a real deterrent to things, and it's also what cleans them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that ironic?
That's
Yeah.
right. And it does a lot of damage and it does a lot of good. And it's the only thing that does it. I want to go just for a minute,
Yeah.
to
Okay.
military. And you mentioned to me as we were meeting a few minutes ago that you were in a submarine.
I was, yeah.
Okay. I could never do that because I got claustrophobia and you are not putting me in a submarine. But tell us a little bit of life about
Sure. I'll give the medium version. I was blessed to be born to a single mom who was at Texas Tech and made some poor choices and had a child as a result. Thank goodness that she did. So I was on this track of being raised without a father. Through the grace of God throughout my life has been just a story of an understanding of my own fragility and gentleness with me. So through the grace of God, she met this man who married her and adopted me. And that changed the trajectory of my life completely. I was on this trajectory to be an underperformer, to not believe in myself, to believe the lies of the world about who I was and did I matter. And God inserted this man into my life who spoke truth to me every single day. He said, "You're loved. You do matter. You have what it takes. You're enough." And so
dads are important.
so that's affected everything that happened afterwards. I've adopted a daughter, and so really proud to carry on the tradition there. But one of the things is my dad was so good at so many things. He wasn't great at generating wealth. He just wasn't. We were poor growing up. So as we looked at college, he was great at coaching a son to be a good athlete, good student. But I had like $32 saved for college. So there was
Where's that school?
exactly. So the options were don't go to college, take out huge loans, or maybe you should consider the military. And so I applied for a bunch of ROTC scholarships, got those, and then was lucky enough to get accepted to the Naval Academy. So I went to the Naval Academy and got my degree from there, which
I've got some friends, good friends that send a couple of sons to Annapolis.
it was an awesome experience for me and one I needed. The structure, I was determined to make as many mistakes as I can, and joining the military, the academy takes that sphere of possible mistakes and shrinks it down to a place where maybe they're not life-altering, life-ruining mistakes. A true blessing for me. Coming out of there, all my buddies went pilot. I just was in San Diego to watch one of them take over command of an aircraft carrier, which was amazing. I went submarines because I thought on the other side of the Navy, I wanted to build a family. I wanted to build businesses. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I went subs because that was honestly more money for a poor kid because I had a signing bonus. It was leadership, which was really important for me, control of a division of a department. And it got me out faster to go join the private sector and build a life somewhere.
Awesome. That's cool. Okay. So back to the laundromat on site selection.
Yeah.
This the podcast is Building Dallas. We've had sign companies, we've had realtors, Buddy Kramer, who owns Katy Trail Ice House. There's so many things to building a community besides just the buildings. Just walk us through a little bit of that about you decide where to go in Dallas. Where are you going to build this?
It's a great question. One that maybe is the most important question to answer in the
Because it's got to still work.
Yeah, I can do everything we've talked about up until this point, and if I pick the wrong site, that business may not work. Right. Every business, but certainly every laundromat owner has, here is our core demographic. These are our core customers. So that has to do with median income. It has to do with household size. Are they a renter? We do all the basics there. And that's really important. Chicago is really different than Dallas. Chicago has this density that Dallas just doesn't. That's a blessing when you're building a laundromat. If you build it, they will come. It's kind of the field of dreams. If you put it in a dense neighborhood, you're going to have a high performing laundromat if you keep the machines rather than keep it clean. Dallas is a little different because it's a commuter city. It's spread. So we are looking for density. We're looking for those core demographics. What's been interesting to me, we allow the Tide brand to do what it does in the marketplace, which is to provide a credible, we can trust. There's an assumed trust there, which is great. Oak Cliff is a perfect example. That's been our highest performing post-opening store yet. And I think the reason there is it's the right demographic. It's a great corner right there on Jefferson and Adams. It is highly trafficked, not just for A to B, but people are there because that's the place to be.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on right there. It's right at the edge of Bishop Arts and Oak Cliff. And so there's this awesome community there that's going to respond when you bring a good product into it. And we've had this in all of our stores, but it's just been stronger at Oak Cliff. And I think part of it is, I've told everybody, there's a pride of being from Oak Cliff. And I know that because a lot of our employees are in Oak Cliff, and they were so excited about building a store and bringing it to life in Oak Cliff. So if I can replicate that, a hard corner that's highly trafficked in a community that is underserved on the laundromat side, and will be proud of the building that we.
And are you guys going in, because like the building that I'm familiar with that we put the roof on is a standalone.
Yep.
So you pretty much look at standalones, or are you going to be in strip centers, or does that make any difference?
It does. So we've opened 4 in the last 16 months or so. 3 of those are in strip centers, and they're all doing well. Visibility is really key. The hardest store that's been the hardest to get growth at is in a strip center, but it's kind of tucked back. And visibility from the road is tough there. And there's some really strong competitors, right? That's a community that's not necessarily underserved by the market. There's some competitors who are doing a good job. They're worthy competitors. Whereas we have one at the corner of Jupiter and Garland Road out in White Rock. And so it's a great center. It's got a Home Depot there. It's got a Marshalls and a Home Goods. And so it's this activity center. It's got good visibility from Jupiter Road. And got 2 laundromat competitors within a softball toss of me. And we've just grabbed all the market share there because of those 3 legs of the stool we talked about. Ours is just fundamentally better. People are willing to spend a couple dollars more to come and get in and out of our place in an hour.
Faster.
You're right. Site selection is a big, big deal. We put a lot of time, effort, thought, money, making sure that when we go in there and spend what it takes to build a laundromat, the CapEx out is tremendous. You can't get it wrong.
Where you guys are going. Tell me, what's the typical, it sounds like there might be 2 questions to this. Your typical, I'm going to go do my laundry there, and your typical, I'm going to drop off stuff. What's their experience from when they park until they're done? What's somebody going to expect?
The do-it-yourself customer, the DIY customer, is going to take their laundry hampers or stuff it all in their big Tide bag. They're going to put it in the back of their car or their trunk, and they're going to pull right up to the door. One of our attendants is hopefully going to see them and come out with a cart for them, and it's going to go straight from their trunk into a cart. And then a lot of times while they're parking, our attendant will bring it inside for them and put it next to a machine. So they're in, they've already been greeted. They're talking to the attendant.
I already like it. They came out to the car. Nobody does that. Who comes out to the car anymore? I used to get gas when I was first driving, and always somebody came out to the car. That's like we're going back to the 60s.
It's the easiest, lowest hanging fruit to begin that connection in that relationship.
That's cool. I just got to say that's cool.
That person, we hope within 3 minutes of driving into the parking lot, is loading clothes into a washer. They're programming it. They hit start. They find a comfortable place to sit. But most folks are just enjoying 20 minutes to breathe and be on their device.
I don't even think about that. It's just like, I can see going in there just saying, just want to be left alone.
It is. A lot of folks, boy, this is almost a guilty pleasure. I've got the next 25 minutes, catch up on my scrolling if I want to, watch this show. And so they'll sit there and 25 minutes later, they're loading a dryer, and 15 minutes later, they're walking them back out to their car. The other person, and this has been interesting on the drop off, we call it wash, dry, fold because we wash it, we dry it, we fold it. Chris, I'll pay for your order. Just try it out because our people fold it in this perfect, amazing brick and they shrink wrap it. So you pull it out and it's like, this is amazing. I've never seen laundry look so good. And you take the shrink wrap off and you just put it in your drawer. You're like, wow. So those folks, they bring in their laundry. We weigh it real quick, check them in, give them a tag, and they're out the door in 3 minutes. And then they'll come back after 5 and pick it up, or they'll come back the next morning and pick it up, and they're on their way.
So you can do same day service or next day.
Same day. Yep. And it's a little bit more expensive on the same day. That's $1.99. Next day is $1.49 per pound.
Okay. Faster now.
Well, I think so. But there's been this sort of trenched belief that, to be a good mom, I've got to do laundry. And I would tell you that's not true. A subconscious belief that a lot of moms have. So it's been hard to get them to trust us with their laundry. So what you do have is you've got busy professionals or college kids and young kids. It's all across the spectrum. It's the guy who's working 80 hours of construction and he's got really dirty construction clothes, but he's light on free time. So he's going to bring us his clothes, let us handle it so he can get on. It's a guy who's traveling Monday through Thursday and he doesn't want to spend time doing laundry on the weekend. So he's going to drop it off with us. So that service is amazing. It's still early in the season of market adoption for that service, but more and more people are going to see value in their time.
For me, if my guys are more comfortable when they're working,
Yep.
I do think about the guys being comfortable when they're working.
Yeah.
For having water, being hydrated, getting some shade and everything, but just the feel of your clothes against your body.
Yeah.
Especially when you're really working.
We've got a little extra dirty, extra scent cycle, for those really tough loads where this is a work shirt, been worked in. Yeah. So let's give that the little extra.
Okay. And now I'm going to go to, this is a big part of building Dallas, is the construction process. Because you're building.
Yeah.
Now you haven't done a new building. You're going into existing.
We haven't done ground up yet. We would love to do ground up.
Okay. So that's coming.
Yes.
Okay. But has there been anything with the city of Dallas or with building officials that's been anything unique about your system and getting through the system? Because we got a lot of contractors listening and I'm sure they want to know.
Well, one of the partners in my business is a gentleman named Dylan Salvo, and his background is construction. And one of the more godly men I've ever met, and he's one of the best GCs I've ever met. We are consistently delivering on time, on budget construction projects. So we're building these things in 3 months, and he's hitting it.
Wow.
Which is, so to answer your question, the hard part of that, apart from the standard permitting thing, is when you walk into a white box that was previously an Aaron's Rent-A-Center, like this Oak Cliff, well, they don't have enough water for us. They don't have enough electricity. So the box that we walk into, we've got to upgrade almost all of the utilities. So the dance between the city and Encore and the services side is really important. So for us, he's going to jumpstart that project as quick as he can, demo. And a lot of times he's talking to the city before we've even got the lease finalized so that he can walk through those upgrades, make sure the water's there and available. And we learned on our second one, gas needs to start immediately.
Income, your supply side.
That's exactly right.
Probably a larger pipe.
So we may have to go from a 1/2 inch to a 2-inch line.
That's substantial construction for all you guys that aren't in construction that we're excavating. Yeah. We're getting into the floors. We're getting into the walls.
We're doing a lot of saw cutting of floors. This is not a finish out of a restaurant. We're going to completely modify this space. Yeah, those guys have been phenomenal at it. And the fact that if I show you day 7 of construction as they're kind of finishing out demo and starting to saw cut floors, and then you've walked into a finished product, to believe that occurred in about 2 months' time and stayed on budget, he's phenomenal. As we build this platform, my company owns and operates Tide franchises. I would say we've discovered that early on that our 2 superpowers we're really good at construction. We've got the right team, the right methodology to get into a site and turn it into something amazing, faster than anybody else can, cheaper than anybody else can. And then we're going to staff it with some amazing people who drive 5-star reviews. Go look at Google on Oak Cliff. This store's been open a month. It's got 500 5-star reviews.
I need to talk to you about how I get my guys to get more. That's incredible. 500 reviews in a month.
Yeah.
For people who are in the world of getting reviews.
Those aren't
That's
bots, and Google doesn't flag us because those people are in our store giving that review.
Okay. That goes perfectly into your hiring process. You've mentioned this all through about your people in the store and your partners that are helping you doing the construction. What are you looking for? What's your process in hiring the people that are on site? The face, they're not going to know you, your partner that's building the thing, the investors, the guy that they see his face. What do you guys do that you think is special?
And pull back a little bit more to answer that question. Why did I do laundromats? I was a tech guy running a software company, ended up saying yes to a laundry business. Why? There's a lot of days when I'm driving around and dealing with a tricky homeless situation and saying, boy, what decisions did I make that led me here? There were a few reasons why. One was I love this play. It's a great business. And if you can do it with speed and excellent execution, you can build a really valuable asset. I love the partners behind the business. I don't have enough money to build these by myself. I needed capital partners. For entrepreneurs out there, there's enough of us that have had bad experience with capital partners. You've got to be aligned on the things that matter most with your capital partners. So my capital partners, one of the guys who founded this private equity firm, I've taught Bible studies with for 10 plus years. Our boys have grown up together. He's one of the more godly men I've ever met in my life. He founded a private equity company that is overtly faith-based. They want to invest in operators and businesses that make a kingdom impact, as well as a profit and a return. The third thing, get to your question, is I've built some really amazing cultures in the Navy. I built a really great culture at a software company. And most of those people self-selected into that experience. The folks that we hired at the software company are college grads who had a great upbringing, a mom and dad in the home, every advantage you could have growing up. I had never built a culture in a segment of the population that is historically underappreciated, underinvested, hourly wage workers, many of whom we don't have the same native language. I thought to myself, I've built great growth cultures elsewhere. Could I do it here? Could we build a culture where somebody like that who just needs a chance, if they came into our culture with our leadership, encouragement and mentoring and coaching, could they take off? Could they fly? So as we hire on a site, and hiring on a site is really hard because you can't run a laundromat with $70,000 attendance. It doesn't work. So you're out there competing against the other hourly wage jobs. And so it's highly competitive, and getting that team is tricky. One of the advantages we have is they come in, they're like, okay, this is different for all the reasons we've talked about. As we get more scale, and we're lucky to have the cleaners, we have a store lead in there that's ready to go, differentiated. This is somebody who's been brought up in our culture, knows that the biggest part of your job is to make sure that you are a multiplier of life through your people. Right. So the real answer is it's really hard. Like a lot of times it's like a week before open and I'm like, well, I'm going to be working some shifts. So far the experience has been, we're going to hire 6 or 7 folks, and 3 of those folks are pretty quickly going to decide that their life's headed in a different direction and they don't like cleaning dryer vents. And that's okay. But 3 or 4 of them are going to stick. And then they're going to tell people, I found this place that's amazing. They offer me benefits and they always pay on time. They encourage me and they're curious about who I am and what's happening at home. And so it always multiplies to get other people coming in.
You get paid on time. That the people that you're working with are interested in you. Man, that's so huge. And that your equity company isn't just pressing you on. They're not just pressing you on the dollar. They really are interested in the people that are making it work.
That's all that matters. At the end of the day, what we make on this, the returns we give to our investors, that'll be forgotten. The only thing eternal about this is the relationships in the business. So why do I do laundry? Well, this is where the relationship pulled me.
I tell all my guys when we're talking about sales and stuff, I go, guys, remember, we've never sold anything to a roof or to a building or to a house. We're selling to a person.
Yeah.
So it's the person that's the most important thing. And if they know that we care about them and that we have their best in mind, are we going to sell everything? No, but they're going to consider us, guarantee you. And we get a lot of referrals from people that didn't use us. Later in our business, it's kind of, then you go with who you went with and you get what you get. Then we get a call from someone. We go, where'd you hear from us? They heard from the person that didn't use it and said, don't use that again. Go with Arrington.
I'll tell you a fun story because these are the best stories. Every meeting that we have, starts with Take Laundry, Give Life. Let's talk about how that's happening in the business. Every meeting, whether I'm talking with our investors or I'm talking with our leadership team or I'm talking with the staff on site. That it's who we are. And if you're not flame for being a cult, your culture's not strong enough. And I am obnoxious about Take Laundry, Give Life. And so the vision was, could somebody come into our environment and have a different life outcome that wouldn't be available to them elsewhere? So I have an area manager. Her name's Darlene Morales, and single mama too. Her mother lives with her to make things work. And she was in the business and working for us in the cleaners. Came after I started. She came in shortly after and made herself known for doing whatever it takes. She was a yes. She was an above the line, never complain, never a victim. Say yes. She's not the most bubbly personality you'll ever meet. She's a little bit introverted and shy, but she's a really hard worker who is loyal and trustworthy and says yes. So as we looked at store one, we said, okay, hiring an outside store lead is risky. Do we have a good candidate? And we said, how about Darlene? We struggled with it because she's not the big give life personality, but what she is an above the line, see it, own it, solve it, do it kind of ownership mentality. So we gave her a chance. At the time, she was making in the cleaners $13 an hour, really struggling to get by. It's a hard job. So she took over as store lead and excellence. She got a raise. As we looked at store number 2, okay, who's available? I said, well, could Darlene manage 2 stores? She's the best person we have. The whole time we're training her, we're developing her. She's asking great questions. She's so curious. She wants to be great. Never had a chance to be before. We give her the opportunity. You're going to be over these stores. You're going to share time. Without belaboring the point, fast forward, Darlene just moved to salary. She's area manager over these 4 stores. She participates in our leadership meetings. She's got her own set of goals and OKRs. This is somebody who grew up in California, barely got out of high school, and was headed towards a life of just trying to get by. And she's fundamentally transformed, not just her life, but her voice. And it's just been awesome.
Chase, will you take a break? Oh, Patrick, that's...
It's funny, the older I get, the easier I tear up.
Yep. Same here. I'll shout out to Rick Lawson, one of my best friends. I cry on every podcast we do. I can't help it. But you know what? When stories like that make being a businessman not a bad thing, because there's so many people that look at being a businessman, you're trying to rip people off, you're trying to get something from them, you're all about yourself. And I think your stories today and the time we've had just reassures me that most businessmen, I would say, are interested in the greater good and want to do well. You've mentioned a couple of times your mission about giving life, but the store has to make it.
Yeah.
It has to make a profit, or then you don't even have it. You know, building Dallas, and that's a hard line to walk sometime. If you've got a story or anything you want to say about your investors, because you told me earlier that they have really meant a lot to you, and that's the guys that nobody's going to see. They're going to say, they're just the rich guys over there. They got everything handed to them. Nobody likes them. But when it comes down to business, all the business people that are listening to this know, if you don't have capital, there's not a lot you can do. It takes forever to build something from nothing.
Well, for entrepreneurs, this is true of every business. It wasn't necessarily true in the Navy, but it's certainly true at the software company in here. The taking laundry part of our mission, really the revenue side of our mission, that earns us the right to give life, right? You've got to take laundry. You've got to have revenue. The vehicle to build relationships, add people to your team, to create these amazing stories is create a profitable business. You have to do it. These guys who are behind me, I think what makes them different is capital partners will get a bad rap because they only want to see the spreadsheet. And if the spreadsheet doesn't look the way it's supposed to be, then they're going to be on you about every decision you make, about every expense that is incurred. These guys care about the spreadsheets, but they care about the people more. So again, when we talk about the business, we're going to talk about the revenue side. We're going to talk about how much has fallen to the bottom line, right? But we're going to talk about the people stories. When they're talking to the people who are writing checks for the fund, they're telling those stories. And not only are they telling them, they're leading with them. It's a key part of their differentiation in the market as they go to check writers and say, here's who we are. one of the key parts is like, hey, we think we're going to generate this amazing return for you. But that's not the best part. Let us tell you about what's going to happen to the people who flow through this business. Let me tell you about this operator and where he's from, what he believes in, what's important to him, and what he's done previously. And so I just couldn't be more appreciative of Portion Capital. Shout out to you guys. They're the best possible capital partner I could have ever prayed for.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So to wrap up, what are we going to be looking for in the future with the Tide Cleaners? And what's the official name?
So Tide Laundromat is the laundromat. Tide Cleaners is the cleaner side. One brand, but sister services and sister companies. So growth. This is a growth company.
We've got 4 right now?
We've got 4 right now. Thesis is we think we can do 30 plus in the greater DFW marketplace.
Like inside LBJ?
No, that's pushing out to Fort Worth.
Okay.
But
Metroplex.
Right. The entire Metroplex. And we've got the ability with our partners at Procter & Gamble to push all the way up into Oklahoma and Oklahoma City, down through Waco and East and West. So it's a growth company. You said in that beautiful intro that I wrote, if you get into a business and you focus on growing yourself and growing your people, then the customers are going to grow and the business is going to grow and you're going to get to fill that funnel again. It's this awesome, virtuous feedback loop. So our plan is to grow. You've got 4 today. I hope when we talk again next year, we've added 5 or 6 to it.
Got it. And it's not like the competition's gone away.
No,
They have.
laundromats are the hot thing right now. It's a very frothy market and there's some good competitors entering the space. So that's great. Forces us to be who we say we are.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. Another thing about being in business is I think as good business people, you appreciate the other businesses that are really good, because without them, sometimes people aren't going to see or believe that there is something better. And so they just reinforce that. There's a bunch of good companies out here, but Tide's coming. And from what I've seen of your product, it's an amazing product. It will make the good companies better and probably put some of the bad ones out of business.
That's exactly
which is always good. That the general public, the Metroplex, will thrive more from everybody just raising their game a little bit.
That's right. You're 100% right. And there's no better place to do that than Dallas. I wouldn't trade places with the guys in Chicago for anything.
Yeah.
There's no place I'd rather be executing on this. Business-friendly operators. It's an entrepreneurial city. And there's a bunch of awesome builders, just like you just said.
Yeah. Okay. Patrick, anything else that you want to leave us with?
No, I would just say thank you. This has been really fun. I've never done a podcast before. So the chance to get on here and talk about what it means to give life at Tide Laundromat Dallas and Tide Cleaners Dallas is a blessing to me, and I'm just very appreciative.
Got it. And I like to tell everybody that's listening to look for Tide Laundromats and just go experience it. And if you are looking for a place to work, and that's where you want to work, you need to call these guys. You need to go see them. You need to go see them now. This is Chris Arrington with Building Dallas. We're glad you watched. We look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Building Dallas, where we bring the stories that shaped North Texas. Subscribe, share, and stay connected. Until next time, keep building. Building Dallas is presented by Arrington Roofing, keeping North Texas covered, rain or shine.